I don't think Doha will really be a game changer, and one of the reasons also that one of the most important incremental players, the US, is not even there. So it could even be that shortly, very short term, we see a bit of a weakening in the oil price. But then afterwards, we think stabilizing. We see 50 or actually above 50 by year end, and that's because the US is actually losing production capacity and production already as we speak. So it works out to a better balanced situation by year end.
Let's kick off and talk about the Investor Watch survey. It touches on the demographics of this region, the aging population. We're all living longer. The problem that I have is that there are in the region of $78 trillion worth of unfunded pension liabilities. So how do you address this predicament in investment terms?
Yeah, very true. And in fact, the root of the pension systems, nowadays pension system, has been laid more than 100 years ago, so in a very different environment, and therefore more and more people, investors, think about their individual situation, what they can do outside governments and companies. So interestingly, we have just issued here our Investor Watch, where we have surveyed over 400 individuals in APEC, so in Hong Kong and Singapore in particular. So what we found out is everybody agrees that yes, retirement has become much more complex. So there's, can easily last 30 years now, starting with a transition phase, where you're not, maybe you get a better life balance, but you don't retire completely. And then you have a phase in between where you travel, you a bit more leisure, and then you have what we call the golden years, and where you really take it easy, time with family. And everybody in the survey agrees that it's important, and also that you need to allocate the assets properly, but they allocate exactly the same mix of assets for every different stage. And also we
How does it need to change? How does a portfolio balance need to adopt to these difficult circumstances?
Yeah, now, there is a natural time horizon when you're maybe in your 50s or 60s, you have longer, you have a bit more income yet, you don't have health costs you need to cover. So in that situation, it's advisable to have more volatile, more yielding assets as well, maybe even more illiquid assets. But as you grow older, it's advisable to draw it down, more cash liquidity focus. And this isn't really captured. I think we need to also sharpen the sense that financial planning is something that is very, very important for the investor.
I wanted to pick up on this, and I found this very surprising. You have found out in the survey that millennials aspire to save more than Generation X. Really? I thought they had very short time horizons, and retirement and financial planning, etc., was the last thing on their minds.
Yeah, maybe that was a bit of a surprising outcome, but it's indeed what we found, and it is in that sense encouraging, or maybe people also more aware of inflation and these things longer term, at least, that they play a role. So surprising, yes, but very encouraging that especially the younger generations take an early eye on the situation, on this problem.
Very quickly, Hartmut, negative rates, is that going to only hasten or aggravate any coming pensions crisis, in your opinion?
Yeah, it certainly does for the savers cause an issue, and I think even the central banks, many of the central banks admit as much, and what they actually try to do is often a tiered system of negative rates where the savers don't get hurt as much. But ultimately, I think it goes back to the point that I've often made. I mean, these negative rates, they can only be a short-term solution to maybe kickstart growth, but you need to take them off. They cannot last for the longer term.